Hey everyone, welcome back to another programming video. Today we are going to discuss another program. I created it, I ran it, it's working. And actually, I received this. So again, this was a request from one of uh, subscribers, and the person has specifically asked for a password manager. Now, I'm not sure if it has to be a GUI based password manager or a command line password manager because they both will, I'll have to use a different approach for both. Um, but because I didn't have a lot of time, so I created this command line password manager. And anyhow, I also want you to try, creating password manager using GUI because we already discussed how we can use graphical user interface toolkit in Python. So here we are going to use a JSON file, right? And not file like the module. And in this program, what I've done, I've created a command line password manager using dictionary to store because command line password, so password manager would manage the password, right? So first it will allow you to create password for different accounts, and then if you forgot the password for a specific account, it will allow you to fetch that password and all that, right? That is my understanding of password manager. So I have used dictionary to store account password pairs because dictionary allows you to have your key value pair, right? So I'm gonna do that using dictionary, create account and password pair, and then I will save them in JSON file. Okay, and then we also will be having like options to again retrieve password for a specific account or add password for a specific account, and we will have a menu also where we can create a menu and we ask user what do you want to do and all that, and we can go through that again and again until the user wants to quit the program using a loop, right? And again, passwords will be stored in JSON file, and that's why I'm using JSON module here for serialization and deserialization also, right? And this basic manager demonstrates uh, this code. Actually it will demonstrate how you can give user input, and I've also used a few features of file handling, and again we are using a different module this time. So I'm gonna do one thing. uh, Let me run this program one more time so I can actually show you the output. Let me set the path. Okay, the path has already been set, right? The user defined. Okay. So let me start with the description first. Let me run the program first so that you can see the output, how it's going to show on the screen. So if you can see, if you run this program, you will get this password manager menu. And then there are three options: get password, add password, and exit. Again, it is a command line thing. So it's very easy to, create. Again, if you want to have something with the GUI or something, you can always first try to use that tkinter module, and there are many other options actually that you can use. And let's see. So because I just ran this program, so currently I don't have any password in this. So if I press 2, if I press 1, it will just show you, that first you have to enter the account for which you want the password. And so I don't really have any account. So maybe I will just randomly, I can maybe provide a name of an account that obviously does not exist. And let me write maybe JKL, and it would say the password not found because there is not really the account does not exist. Okay, So again, I'm going to maybe enter the choice add password. So first I'll try to add the password. So I'm gonna use the option 2. First I can enter the account name. Maybe account name is Parul and the password is JKL, or maybe not that simple. Um, what should it be? Okay, let's just go with Parul, right? So password has been added. Now I can again get the password. So again, the software is going to ask for, I hope you can see. Mm, okay, let me go like this. Okay, enter the account for which you want the password. So I want the password for Parul and the password is Parul. Okay, and then I can exit using 3. Very simple program. You can add as many features as you want. I've added very little, like I didn't add a lot of features because I don't really know what the specific requirements are. So I try to create very simple program, easy to understand. So first of all, let's start with the this module. Why we are using, JSON module here. One of the reasons we are using it is to because we want to handle the storage and retrieval of passwords in a structured manner, right? So that's why we are using JSON, right? And see, I'm using two functions, many functions actually, to load password, to save password, and to get password. This function specifically, load password, this function actually reads the contents of a file, right? The name of the file I've given. So here I'm introducing files. If you don't know how to work with files, here I'm opening the file in read mode, right? If you don't know how to work with files, I created one video lecture long back uh, on files. Go check that one. You will understand. Files are very easy actually. Um, so you just need to understand the basics, right? If you want to write something into the file, you have to use W for write. And if you want to just read it, you have to open the file in a read mode, right? So here we want to loading passwords means the file already has passwords and I just want to read them. So I will open it in read mode, right? So that's what we are doing here. Okay. And so once we do that, uh, you know, we are reading the contents of passwords.json file, right? Using the, load method, json.load file method, because we need to load the file. It's going to parse the data from the file, right? And then it will open it and it will return a Python dictionary that contains the loaded data, right? So it will automatically do that. Okay, and similarly, the next function or next method we have is save underscore passwords function. This function writes the passwords which are in the form of, again, Python dictionary to the passwords.json file. Here we are writing, so we passwords.json file uh, is used here, right? So I'll write passwords into this file and then I will read from this file, right? Like this should be very simple to understand. And how do we do that? That is done by json.dump method. Okay. And the indent equals to 2 parameter is actually used to add indentation for better human readability. Right. So password should be understandable or easy to read for, like anybody who wants to read it. Okay. Now, the reason I'm using JSON file because there are many other ways to do it, right? You can create password manager in simple ways also. The reason I'm using JSON module is one, I wanted you to know how to use it. So if somebody asks you, right, if maybe you have an examination or something, or you're actually wondering how JSON module can be used, you will understand here. See, it is a human readable data interchange format, JSON, right? So it makes it very easy to edit uh, or, I can say inspect outside of the program. And it is also supported across different programming languages, right? So for data interchange, it's a very good option, right? When we are dealing with many, programming languages. And then, like I told you, I specifically want to work with dictionaries because dictionaries in Python provide key value pairs. So we will have account and password pair. JSON represents data as key value pair, right? So it makes it a natural choice for storing this type of data. Okay. So that being said, now let's talk about. So you all now you know why I'm using JSON. Now let's talk about individual functions, and I'll let you know how what is happening in each function. So if you look at this first function, load passwords. So this is the name of the function. Basic definition, how we define a function. I'm using try block here. Okay. So this function is actually trying, or it is attempting to open a file, passwords.json file in read mode. Okay. And for that, if you ever you want to, open a file in read mode or you, so the first step is to open a file if you want to write into it or if you want to read from it. And for that, we use open function. So this is an inbuilt function, right? Okay. And we always write like, with open, right? With is used, like this statement is used with open, and then we write the name, right? With actually ensures that the file is properly closed after reading its content, even if an exception occurs. So we use with here, right? And inside, so this with is a block. If you can see, there is colon, right? So this is one block. So this is one block, try block, and then inside try block we have a with block, right? And inside the with block, we are using json.load file to actually load the JSON data from the file, right? And this assumes that the file contains valid data. The loaded data is then returned from the function, right? Because it is loading the file and then it will return it. Okay. If the file is not found, if this passwords.json file is not present there, then an exception is raised. Name of the exception is file not found error. Okay. And this except block will be executed. Okay. And what is function returning? Function is returning an empty dictionary. So it is a very, I would say, uh, efficient or a graceful way to handle the situation where the file doesn't exist or it hasn't been created yet. So instead of raising an error, the function simply returns an empty dictionary. Okay. Again, because here also we will get a dictionary. So I'm just returning an empty dictionary if I don't get anything. Fine. For the second function, save password, right? Now this function is responsible for actually saving the passwords to the file in JSON format. Again, I'm using with statement to open the file named passwords.json in write mode. Again, why am I using with? So that file is properly closed after writing its content, even if an exception occurs. Okay. And I'm also using JSON dot dump. This function is used to write the contents of uh, the passwords dictionary to the file. Okay, so this is how it goes, right? And then indent2, this is actually an optional parameter. It specifies the number of spaces to use for indentation in the input in case you want to, show the whole file, right? And so I just set it to 2, making the data more human readable with proper indentation. And so we have load password, save password, and get password. So this one, very, very simple function actually. Uh, it will only retrieve the password for a given account. As I in the beginning I ran the program, right? So I will give the name of the account and it will get the password. Okay, and it is using two parameters only, account and passwords. Account for which the password is requested, and passwords here, uh, dictionary containing account password pairs. right? And when we return passwords dot get account and um, yeah, okay, yes, right. So here I'm using get method. It is used to retrieve the value associated with the key account in the passwords dictionary. If the key account, so I told you key value, right? So account is the key, value is the password, password is the value. Um, if the key, which is the account, is not found in the dictionary, the corresponding value is returned. I mean, if it is found in the dictionary, then the value will be returned. Okay. If the key is not found, then method will return the default value provided as a second argument, which is password not found. Okay. So don't take it like I've given account and then the message. It's just that when we use this function, passwords.get account, it's like you are trying to get value for this given key, right? You are trying to get password for this account. If the password exists, password will be returned. If it does not exist, then the second parameter will be used, which is a string or a text message. Okay. Okay. And so that's how it goes. Um, where was it? Get password. Okay. Now let's talk about add password. Now this function is responsible for adding account and password pair to the dictionary. Okay. Parameters we are using account, again name of the account for which you are providing the password, that specific password, and passwords, this is the name of the dictionary where all the pairs will be saved, right? And passwords account equals to password. This line is used to add a new key value pair to the passwords dictionary. The key is the account, right? If you know how to deal with dictionaries, again, I have created videos videos on video lectures on these topics, how to work with dictionaries, how to work with files and all. Please go back if you don't know and check those videos. Okay, when you are dealing with dictionaries, you write the name of the dictionary and then in square brackets you write the name of the key, and then you will get the value. And similarly, if you want to provide the value for that specific key, then you name of the dictionary, key, and then value. Okay, that's what we are doing here. This statement is actually adding a new key value pair to the passwords dictionary. Key is the account name, the value is associated, the value is password. Okay, if account already exists, the previous password value will be overwritten. Remember that. Okay, and then this one, save underscore passwords. After updating the passwords dictionary, the function will call save passwords, this statement. This function is responsible for saving the updated dictionary to the passwords.json file. Okay, so that changes are persisted there. Because if we are not using files, why do we use files? Again, go back to that video and check. Now, files are used so that we can save data. Otherwise, it's just in RAM. Okay, if we are just dealing with dictionaries and all that, we can't retrieve data for next time. So we need files. And uh, so this line, it prints a successful message indicating that the password for the specific account has been added successfully. Okay, now let's talk about the main function. And as you know, like we don't really try to define main in Python, but here I'm defining it to make things easier. So the first statement is passwords equals to load underscore passwords. The main function starts by calling the load underscore passwords function to load existing passwords from the passwords.json file into the passwords dictionary. Right? If you remember, we had load underscore passwords function here. Right? So first we call this function to load all the passwords from the file into the dictionary. right, from passwords.json file into the dictionary passwords. Okay, then the function will then enter an infinite loop, right, while true, to create a menu driven interface for this specific application, which is password manager. And the loop will continue until the user chooses to exist. So what are the options? If it's 1, we are saying get password, 2 and 3, right? Now, if you are familiar with C++ programming language, we use switch case. Something similar to that, we are getting a choice. So we are asking user to, input a choice, 1, 2 or 3. If choice is 1, um, then we are, um, right. If the choice is 1, then we are going to ask. So these are the choices, right? So if choice is 1, we are getting the password. If it is 2, we are adding the password. So if the choice is 1, we are asking the user to enter the account information for which they want to, enter the password. And then we are using this function, right? So if the user enters 1, program will ask for an account name and retrieve and print the password, right? That is first choice, right? So for that, we are using get password function. Again, we discussed this function earlier, right? So we are getting the data and then we will put it in this variable, right? And then we will print it on the screen, right? If the choice is 2, then program will ask for an account name and password and then add this pair using add underscore password function. We talked about it also, right? And if the choice is 3, that means we want to exit. So we will just, print a message and then we are using break keyword to just come out of it. Okay. We will exit the loop and the program will end. Now, there is another point. If let's say a user enters an invalid choice, so it's not 1, 2 or 3, it's something else, maybe 0 or 4 or something, then this message will be displayed that it is an invalid choice. Please enter 1, 2 or 3. Okay, so this is the simple command line interface. And to run the program, I'm using this statement. Again, I have explained this statement also in long back, I believe. Now, this is a common, I can say, Python idiom that checks whether, Python script is being run as the main program or if it is being imported as a module into another script. Okay. Underscore, so this is underscore, 2 times underscore name, underscore. This is special variable in Python. When a Python script is executed, this is actually set to main in the background. Okay. If the script is the main program being run. If the script is being imported as a module into another script, then it will be set to the name of the module, right? So it lets the program, it lets the system know if if the main script is being run or if it is something imported in the as a module. Okay, so this condition, uh, because I'm using if here, so this actually is going to check if the script is main program. If it is, the code inside the block is executed. So if it is the main, then it will execute main function. And we already defined main here. Where is it? This one, right? So it will execute main function. Okay. And mm, and yes, I think that is it. And so yeah, okay. And main actually is the function that yeah contains the logic here. So we have to execute it, right? So this is nothing. This is just for ensuring that your main function is executed only when the script is run directly and not when it is imported as a module in another script. Why do we do that? This actually allows the script to be both a standalone program and a module that can be imported into other scripts without executing the main logic automatically. So that's the only reason. And I hope you understood this whole concept, and I hope you understood the code as well. You can try, run it, and maybe try to use different versions of it. And if you have any doubts, feel free to ask. I will see you next time. Till then, take care.